Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aram Talegian, San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer, joined by San Gabriel Valley Tribune prep sports editor Fred J. Robledo. Freddie, after a long offseason, too long, it is finally game week. I have my game face on. I'm probably taking this week way too seriously.
Well, it's a big week, Aaron.
It is a big week.
The three games.
But this is all business. What we're going to do today is profile the Smudge Pot game coming up at Citrus College on Thursday night on its own pedestal at 7 p.m. The whole valley can take part in this amazing rivalry that really kind of packs the stands. I wonder how they're going to do at Citrus now, because this is a pretty big venue to be playing at. But don't put it past them to even pack Citrus College. San Dimas and Bonita coming up on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Series record. San Dimas leads 22-16 and one tie. Last year, Bonita wins 41-20. Freddie, let's get right into this. One heck of a way to start the season.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, when you look at San Dimas, talking earlier in the season, this team is returning 5 guys from their championship team, Aaron. You got Dylan Corona, of course, the quarterback, Sean Kennedy, who led them to a championship as a sophomore before Cody Watts came in and took over last year, is back under center. He's their quarterback, and there's a good feeling over at San Dimas, and at the same time, you have Bonita in a big transition. I mean, they lost a lot of seniors, Aaron, from that team that went to the championship game a year ago and lost. And if there's one thing that you remember from these Bonita-San Dimas games, and I've covered them now a few times, is that they're so unpredictable. I don't care, going into this game, you can look at who they have back, you can crunch numbers or go over things, but it's such an emotional game. When I look back over the years, you've had some blowouts. I can't remember the last real close Smudge Pot game that we've had. That they've just kind of, like last year, turned into a 41-20. The year before, the 2 previous years, I think San Dimas really took it to them. So I think this is one of those years, more than the other years, where I'm looking at both teams. I really don't know, because I like what San Dimas has coming back. I'm not really sure about Bonita. They have Tanner Diebold, the new quarterback, taking over for Pendleton, and you're just kind of looking at the camera, shaking your head.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, look, I saw San Dimas earlier this summer at the Arroyo SGV shootout, the passing tournament. They are not a passing tournament team. However, you do get a good look at their skill guys. I've said this on the blogs. I'm going to say it again here and now. I do not see how this team is better skill-wise than they were last year, better skill-wise than the year before. We're talking about guys in over the last 2 years, like Darlington, like Kohler, like Colbeck, Trey Evans.
You don't think Sean Kennedy's a skill guy?
He is a skill guy, but you know what? When he was a sophomore and he was the quarterback, he was a caretaker of that offense. Was he the guy that was winning the games?
Their quarterback is always a caretaker of that offense. Well, that's kind of what they do. He's not going to throw 300 yards, Aaron.
Yeah, well, I mean, so why are we circling this league?
And look at skill guys during the summer in a summer passing league when you run a wing T. I don't know what you really get out of that.
Well, so why are we flipping out about his return here? I don't understand it. Does he win games or does he manage games?
He wins games. Sean Kennedy's a winner. He's also one guy, one of the few guys in the Valley who's won 2 CIF championships. Remember, he's won one in baseball. He's won one in football already. This guy is a winner. He's going to be a captain on this team. I mean, anytime you have a guy coming back for his 3rd year who led them, he really took a back step last year, and I think part of that was a little injury too when Cody Watts came in.
Cody Watts was the quarterback for most of the year.
I mean, I don't know, you weren't here that year. He's a very manageable quarterback. He threw 4 or 5 times a game. You're never going to have stats like that compared to like a Bonita who's going to throw the ball.
Of course not. It's not their
offense. They do have a new. There's just a lot more uncertainty.
But again, I don't see, and we're going to find this out obviously this whole season starting Thursday night. Is Kennedy going to be asked to win games by making plays or win games by managing the game? The way you're talking about him, the way everyone else is talking about him, it sounds like they're going to ask him to win games by making plays. Yeah. That's different from what he did his sophomore year. Now, who are the stud running backs like they had the last 2 years? Because those San Dimas teams, last year's team was very good. The year before they were fantastic. They had a guy like Alan Brown that was leading the way up front. I mean, Alex Zenner's a nice lineman, but I mean, how can anybody sit here and tell me? They had a receiver like Kevin Colbeck the last 2 years. How can anyone sit here and tell me, and I've read what you've talked to to Coach Zernico about that this team is more skilled offensively than it's been in either of the last 2 years. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I buy that. Yeah,
you buy their equal to or better.
Because
better than Evans, Kohler, those guys.
I think that remains to be seen. What he was saying is these new guys, and I don't know enough about him. Or you do have Dylan Corona back, fullback, Aaron.
Yeah. He's okay. I like him. He's on par with those guys. Okay.
And you have guys that are in his system. You know, the thing about the wing T, and when we've had Steve Ramirez here in previous years, it's really a tough offense. It's a tough offense to defend against, especially in the first year. Now, granted, Bonita sees them every year, so they kind of know what to expect. But in previous years, these guys, they've just been able to get it done. Like I said, I think there's more certainty with San Dimas than there is Bonita. Tell me why you feel so good about Bonita.
I don't feel so good about Bonita.
That's what I'm trying to
that's my problem is I don't feel good yet
knock
about
on San Dimas before you're
no,
telling
we just haven't gotten to Bonita
so
yet. No. We just haven't gotten to Bonita yet, so don't tell me that I'm feeling good about them. I don't feel good about Bonita's offense. Not on any level. The quarterback situation, I saw them scrimmage against Damien on Friday night. Was I there the whole time? No, but I caught the majority of it. It still looked like these guys are no better off in this quarterback competition than they were, 4 or 5 months ago. Now, obviously, the word is Tanner Diebold's going to get the start. He's a sophomore. Hello, welcome to varsity level, sophomore. You're starting on a pedestal against San Dimas at Citrus College in your first start. That's a tough task. But the thing is that I like Bonita's defense. I think Bonita's defense is very, very good. And I think they're almost to... I mean, they lost... Yeah, you're right. They lost some real studs last year in that senior class. Right. But this defense is going to be one of the better defenses around. They looked good against Damien. And this is why I'm giving them the slight...
And I agree with you, Aaron, only because you look in previous years, they've always been more physically imposing. They've always had bigger guys on the line, it seems like. And they have done well. I just have... it's one of those feelings. I like what San Dimas has coming back. I'm going to buy... what Zernico was saying, that they have more an athletic backfield, guys that were groomed to play running back. We're gonna obviously we'll find out on Friday night, but right now I'm buying that because I believe there's a little more. Yeah, I think he's being straight up with me.
Okay, because he plays games with the media.
So he plays games with you.
No, it's not just me. He plays games with the media.
I love that you said that.
He may have played games with you, talking about these skill guys. Well, we're going to find out. I agree with you, Fred. I trust San Dimas' offense more at this point than I do Bonita's, but I trust Bonita's defense a lot more than I trust San Dimas' defense, and I trust Bonita's overall talent level more than I trust San Dimas' overall talent level. I think the game's very close. I don't know where points come from on either side, and that's not because San Dimas' offense isn't fantastic. I hope they're as good as they've been the last 2 years, but I think they're going up against a fantastic defense. A defense that was stuffing nearly every Damien running play last Friday night in the scrimmage. I hope I'm not reading into that scrimmage too much. They're still very good on defense.
I think you read way into these scrimmages and these passing games too much.
But this is all we have to go off of right now.
No, you have last year to go off of, too.
I would rather go off of what I saw last Friday than last year.
I kind of like going off of real games last year and who you know is coming back.
Well, these things are actual scrimmages with the guys that are going to be playing this year. Last year, features guys like Brown and Lemons who aren't even around anymore. Pendleton, those guys aren't around. So, I think it's better kind of to go off what you see in the summer than what you saw last year. But that's another argument we can have at this point. Pick the game, Fred. Let's hear it.
I think I've already picked it. I'm going with San Dimas. I like them in a close game. I won't be surprised if there's a blowout either way because this game, I said, Aram, it always surprises you. You really don't know what's going to happen. And that's the thing, that in games like this with high school kids, emotion takes over a lot of times. That's why they're so hard to predict. But I'm going with San Dimas. Go ahead.
I'm going with Bonita. I think this is a defensive game. I trust Bonita's defense more than I trust San Dimas's. Like I said, I trust San Dimas's offense more than I trust Bonita's offense. But like I said, anything can happen. We're going to find out a lot about these teams on Thursday night. It's going to be a fantastic environment. Freddie has got San Dimas in a close one. I've got Bonita in a close one.
And last thing, get there really early. We've been to these games before. There could be 7,000 to 8,000 people there.
And bring your money because it's $10 to get in for adults.
$10 to get in.
Enjoy that. We got press passes. Okay, so $10. Citrus College on Thursday night. The whole Valley has no excuse not to be out there watching one of the greatest rivalries in SoCal. 7 p.m. Citrus College, San Dimas and Bonita for the Smudge Pot. Enjoy it.